Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. Beast! Beast. Peekaboo. I don't even know what I'm supposed to say anymore. I'm YouTube famous now. Okay, that is not how it goes. How does it go? You guys are like, oh my God, Peter, you got us messed up on the intro. Hey, you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Beast. I'm YouTube famous now. Na 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 na. Shimmy, 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 shimmy. Shimmy, 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 shimmy. Shimmy, speaking of Trisha Paytas. Moses, go get me some of those crumbled cookies now. The album, Dad, that's me, AF, available in 2022. Rock on! This intro is crazy today. Rock on, gold dust, woman. What we're not gonna do in 2022 is make Jeffree Star the drama of 2022. Beast! That was quite the intro today, wasn't it? How are you guys doing? Okay, so listen. Listen, people, and don't call people people, it's rude, right? Before I get into this video, today I'm going to be talking about Ethan Klein coming out and talking and saying some things about Trisha Paytas. And is Trisha Paytas going to respond about, it's like, now the fight. Here we go again with the fighting of Trisha Paytas and Ethan Klein, and I'm here for it. Say what you gotta say, Ethan. So anyway, but no, so I'm going to talk about that in just a second, but I have several thank yous that I want to give before I start this video, and no, this is not a sponsored video, although I wish it was. I wish I was like a family channel and I was sponsored by Walmart or somebody like that. I don't know what they're getting paid, okay? Or that Ryan's Toys and all that kind of madness. Oh my God, they're bankrolling over there. That kid's like, toys, 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 toys. My nephews, I figured it out a long time ago, okay? How those channels have all those views on them, those kids' channels. My nephews, well, my one nephew is like, he's older now, so he doesn't really watch as much of that kind of stuff, but my younger nephew still does. And they would just like carry their tablets around and they wouldn't even be watching them. And the videos would just play the playlist. So it would just be like any channel. The playlist would just, if you have kids, you know what I'm talking about, right? It was just one video to the next, to the next, to the next. I truly believe that's how those channels have like 24 million subscribers on them. Because they're like hitting screens and they don't know what they're doing. It's not because they love those channels. Those channels bore a steak. If you're a kid, no. But my nephew, my one nephew, he does love that Ryan's Toys. And my sister-in-law, she's always like, oh my God, and then I hate for him to watch it because then I have to go out and buy those toys. And then, okay, to put salt on the wound for the parents of the world out there, okay, that are just trying to get by in tough economic times, what happens next? Ryan comes out with his own line of toys at Walmart. And as an uncle, I had to buy those toys for my nephew, and he was very excited. He was very excited. Anyway, and I'm sitting there. Anyway, we're not going to get into all that today, but I'm like, this is like money-making machine. Now I understand why these families are starting family channels, and I think that's probably what Trisha's thinking, She's like, let's hope we have the next Ryan's Toys or something. But anyway, before I get into this video, I want to say what was all that? I don't know. I want to say a very special thank you to so many of you out there that reached out to my husband yesterday via comments in my last video or on my vlog. Or on the picture that I posted on Instagram, or just DM'd him or whatnot for his birthday. It meant the world to him. One of the greatest things that has come as a result of being on YouTube is the connection that I have been able to form with so many of you, and just the interactions and the messages that you guys send me and things like that. And, my husband is so supportive of my love and passion for YouTube and doing it, on a regular basis. I mean, well, that's a given, the romanticals, okay? But I'm talking about doing the YouTube, okay? we're a family-friendly channel over here, okay? Don't even. But anyway, no, he just loves it so much. And he's like, people are so nice to you. They're so nice to us, you know? And you guys are. You are so, so, so nice and supportive of us. And I just want to say thank you. To go out of your way and send my husband, like, a personal message wishing him a happy birthday, like, and he got a lot of them, you know? So that was just, it meant so much to me. The second thing I want to say, the second thank you, no, again, this is not sponsored, is that Elle Leary from Elle Leary Artistry, who is one of my favorite people in the world, one of my favorite YouTube channels in the world. She has a beauty and skincare YouTube channel where she reviews stuff and does, you know, just videos like how to keep your spray tan at its best and things like that. And she has just been so supportive of me since really my induction into YouTube. And she's always sent me products to try. And she sends me like high-end, really nice products. And so my cousin Caroline today, she came and picked me up and took me places, and I went to the post office, and one of the packages that I got was Elle sent me like all of these products, and these are like high-end products, you guys. Like, let me just give you an example. This like Tatcha Rice Polish Classic, which is like a face wash, and I absolutely love this. This is expensive, and she sent me a whole thing of it. She was so nice. So I'm going to go link Elle's channel underneath this video in the description box. Please go check her out and subscribe to her channel. She's so nice. She was so non-problematic. I really, really love Elle, and she's so supportive of so many people on YouTube. And like myself, she just has like a real passion for YouTube, you know? And then I want to thank my cousin Caroline, who came and picked me up today, and we went to brunch and Trader Joe's, crumble cookies, so I could do my review, which I'm going to post tomorrow on my review channel, Peter Reviews Stuff. And then we went to the post office where I got that stuff, and we went to Trader Joe's, and then we went to Starbucks because my cousin's kind of obsessed with the refreshers because I introduced her to them, and they have new refreshers at Starbucks. And so I said, hey, do you want to do a review video with me? And she was like, sure, because so many of you asked me to have my cousin Caroline or Alex, my husband, or my good Judy Tanya Jean. They're like, have them all in videos with you. So Tanya was like Caroline was totally willing to be in this video today. I even told her, I said, because she said something kind of funny before the video starts, and I said, I don't want to cut that out because it's funny, and she goes, I don't care, just leave it in there. So that video of us reviewing the refreshers will be up today on YouTube. We're just sitting there in the parking lot, shooting the crap. We had a good time. It was really fun. And then we laid out the pool, and let me tell you the problem, okay, is now that Caroline is going to the pool so much with me, she knows the neighbors too, and they're like, hey, Caroline, how are you? And I'm like, I do not care for this, okay? I am the one that is running for the HOA badge, okay? I am the one that needs my sash and crown, not you. You don't even live in this neighborhood, okay? And she's like, well, maybe I could be a write-in nomination. I'm like, write-in nomination? That's not how it works. Go run for the pageant queen of your own neighborhood. She wouldn't win over there, though, like I would. But listen, okay, maybe in a national title. Maybe the national HOA pageant. I have to tell you, I have been, writing to Andy Cohen of Bravo nonstop, okay? Gabby Hanna, the way that she is like writing to Britney Spears so that she can write music for her. Now Gabby Hanna is writing movie producers and production companies because she's got a horror movie that she wants to produce. In the same passion and vein as Gabby Hanna, I have been writing to Andy Cohen to produce The Real Housewives of the HOA. Don't you think that would be so good and I would be in it? Oh my God, it would be so dramaticals. We would have so much dramaticals in our neighborhood. Oh my God, it would be so good. That Dubai is so boring, but The Real Housewives of the HOA, first of all, it would be relatable, okay? Second of all, it would be relatable. Third, y'all have grandmas and moms that are like the dear ladies that live in my neighborhood, okay? And I get to handpick who they were, and then I would be the fifth or sixth, right? You know what I mean? You know, like how like in every county they have like their thing, you know, like in Atlanta, it's the peach. You know, like in our neighborhood, it would be like the gardening glove or something like that. I want The Real Housewives of the HOA. Okay. So the last person, I want to thank my cousin Caroline today for taking me around. Go watch that video. We had a fun time doing it. The last person I want to thank is Rich Lux. And Rich Lux, as well as many other drama channels, has been so fantastic since I've come back and has been really, really supportive of me. I remember, like, Rich asked me, he was like, you know, like, when are you coming back to start making drama videos? And I was like, well, I'm going to kind of come back slowly because I don't really, like, I'm just not used to posting videos, so I don't know yet and whatever. And I knew that my first 2 drama videos back were going to be me just kind of talking about drama that I had like missed since I had been gone. And Rich like sent me this list, like point by point by point, of all these things I could cover. I mean, that wasn't what I did in those videos, but I was like, okay, well, this is what but thank you so much. And Rich is somebody that always like, I told him the other day, I said, we're kind of just regurgitating each other's like drama right now because there's not really anything going on. But Rich has always been somebody that like, if something happens, he sends out the receipts to the other people that would do the videos. And he did that last night, and I want to say thank you. It really meant the world to me because I was at my husband's birthday party last night. We had such a good time. Did I talk about this already? I don't think I did, but anyway. So we had such a great time last night, and all of a sudden I looked down at my phone, and Rich is texting me these clips that he had recorded from Ethan Klein of H3 being on the Howie Mandel podcast. Now, I, like Rich and other people, did not know that Howie Mandel had a podcast. I did not care that Howie Mandel had a podcast. I couldn't tell you one thing that Howie Mandel has done in the last 40 years. I don't care about Howie Mandel. I don't dislike the man. He seems perfectly fine to me, okay? I think it's his wife and him on this podcast. I don't know. I don't know who these people are. I don't care about Howie Mandel. He's a comedian. He was like real famous kind of like in the 80s and the 90s. I never thought he was funny. I never found him to be funny and whatever. Actually, you know what? I should do like a search right now of Howie Mandel movies and see what comes up and see how many of them I've actually seen, because I bet you it's not many. Hold on a second. Howie Mandel movies. And I definitely can't imagine that I would be rushing to go watch one of his podcasts. Okay. He was in Gremlins. I do not remember him in Gremlins. Okay, he was in Gremlins too, although I love Gremlins. And I consider it a Christmas movie. Okay, he was in the cartoon version of David Copperfield. Don't remember that. Gilbert with Gilbert Godfrey. Shake, Rattle, and Roll. He's been in so many movies. I don't really know any of these movies, to be honest with you. Was he in a TV show? Howie Mandel TV shows. What did he do? I remember him doing stand-up back in the day, TV shows. You guys are going to be like, can't you, oh, America's Got Talent, Deal or No Deal. Oh, I remember him on Deal or No Deal, America's Got Talent. Does he have talent to be on America's Got Talent? He was on The Nanny from 93 to 99. Fran Drescher. I used to love that show so much. Anyway, let's just put it this way. I'm not a Howie Mandel fan. I think he's perfectly fine. I have no issues with him, okay? So Ethan Klein goes on this podcast, and I watched more of it than just the clips that Rich sent me because I kind of wanted to see, like, the context for what they're talking about. But at one point, Howie Mandel starts asking Ethan Klein, and I'm just prefacing this, you can go watch it yourself. Rich has the clips in his video, so if you want to just watch the short, extended version, I'm not going to take those from Rich. He put them together very nicely with a very cool intro. And did y'all see I made the intro to Rich's video the other day? I said, girl, let me tell you something. I said, you put it in there like I was talking about Laura Lee, and that was the part that I was talking about Jaclyn Hill, and he just laughed. Rich don't care. Honey Badger don't care. But anyway... So he's got the clips over there if you want to see him in Rich's video. But basically what Ethan says, Howie Mandel starts asking him about Trisha Paytas being married to Moses and how the family kind of reacts or relates to all of that, right? And really the harshest thing that Ethan says, he really doesn't say anything like that bad. They say something to him about like, do the in-laws like hate her? And he says, oh yeah. And I think, like when I first watched it, I thought he meant Ela Klein's family. Okay, I don't think that's what he means. I think it's being misinterpreted. I think he means his immediate family, like his mother and like Ethan's mother and father. I think that's who he's talking about in that moment. And so then he even says, like, because he says something, Ethan kind of goes back and forth, and he's like talking about not getting along with Trisha and that they have no communication whatsoever. And he's like, I mean, I don't hate her. He's like, you know, I don't really feel that deeply about her or something like that, he says. And then it goes in this whole thing and talks about how, like, Moses and Ela have no communication and that Ela's family only knows a limited amount about Trisha Paytas, something to that effect, and that they all live in Israel. I mean, I think most of us that have followed this whole thing, we know most of this. and that they don't, Hila and Ethan don't have any interactions with Trisha, which I think we knew this as well, don't have any interactions with Trisha and Moses at this point whatsoever. And at one point, Ethan says something about, like, people are going to love that I'm talking about this because I never talk about this, which I thought was interesting that he, like, identified that, you know? And, because then that's where people are like, well, is Trisha going to come out? Is she going to respond to this? Which I'll get to in just a second, because I looked into this and did a little research today. So it really wasn't this huge part. I think both clips that Rich sent me were like two minutes each, and kind of just going in and talking about, like, the relationship that they had, and, like, you know, talking, and Ethan doesn't get real deep into it. He kind of just talks a little bit about, we had a podcast and it went south, and, you know, all this kind of, I mean, he doesn't really get into a whole lot of detail from that. And then they go into, he said, well, Howie asks Ethan how long Moses and Trisha have been together, and he's like, I think they've been dating for like 1.5 years, and then they got married, and now they are pregnant and having a child. And Howie's like, having a child, and he is the one that says it. He's like, isn't she kind of wild? And Ethan's like, yeah. And he's like, or is she not really like that in person? And it kind of like, you can't really tell, like, I mean, Ethan, you can tell Ethan is like not going to come out and put Trisha Paytas on blast, which I have to say to some degree, like, I mean, he was honest, but I thought he was respectful. I really did, you know? People can say what they want to say. I thought he was respectful. I mean, there's a lot more that he could have said, and he could have, you know, brought it all back from where we were like 1 year ago, but I thought he was pretty respectful about that. So that was really what happened. You know, as far as like him breaking his silence on talking about Trisha Paytas and whatever, it's like, I mean, he is on his podcast. There have been moments where he has made comments about Trisha, or they've made jokes about Trisha. We know that, right? Like, there's been subtle, like, little just things that he has said towards Trisha and the whole situation. But he, it didn't, like, I mean, he kind of laughed at some parts, but it was really Howie that was bringing the things up, and Ethan would just kind of answer him directly, but he didn't get into any of the specifics about it. And he could have, like, I mean, let's just think about this. He could have been like, let me tell you the real story of what really went down, right? So a lot of people are speculating and wondering, you know, is Trisha Paytas going to respond to this, whatever. Well, first of all, I don't really know what there is to respond to, you know, like, Ethan Klein got in a podcast. He was asked about his relationship with his in-laws. He said, we have none. Howie Mandel said, well, isn't she wild? And Ethan said, like, kind of like, he even questioned that. He was like, yeah, I mean, what do you mean? And so they kind of got off that subject real quick. And that was kind of it. And he just basically said, the worst thing he said was, like the in-laws hate her. Basically talking about his family. Well, that's Ethan's mother and father, who are basically saying, why wouldn't they? You know, if you look at this whole situation, why wouldn't they take their... Listen, I had a mother bear, okay? She'd have protected me at any cost. And, I mean, so I think that's basically what he's saying is, yeah, like, my family, they can't stand her, you know? And that Moses basically just hangs out with Trisha's family, and he doesn't see his family because they live in Israel. That was really it. I mean, Ethan even said, I mean, I don't hate her. He said that, you know. So anyway, but he did say, the direct quote was something like, yeah, the in-laws, like, they hate her. But I think he was talking about his in-law, or his family. He wasn't, I don't think he was talking about, like, Hila's family. It didn't come across to me that way when I watched it, like, a second time. So, so there was that. So I don't really know what there is for Trisha to respond to. What would Trisha say? You know, like, oh, there you go again, running your mouth. I mean... what? Like, every other time this has gone back and forth, Trisha's made 15 TikToks, 10 YouTube videos, you know, crying and on and on and on. So, whatever. I will tell you what I thought was interesting was, since this podcast has been out, and I went to her Twitter, she has tweeted quite a few times, but let me tell you, the tweets are kind of like, just really random tweets. She's like, 5:30 a.m., time for a walk outside. They're all like real positive tweets. She links this video, and then she says, somebody is talking about these Quentin Tarantino movies, which she's always been, you know, a huge fan, and she's talking about, wouldn't that be amazing, and she's talking about Quentin Tarantino movies again, and stuff like that. Then what's interesting is, I mean, not really, but there's this picture of, well, from her OnlyFans, and it says, new uncensored feet pics, 18 plus, only Trish.com. Like, what are you paying to see Trisha Paytas' face? What do you, because I can't, here, I'll show you what she's got. She's got her feet, and then she's got it like, you know, what do you got to pay to see somebody's feet? Because listen, I'm 50 and I like to kick. And I want some money for feet pics, okay? All of these people that, what's that name, that gal that's on Real Housewives of Miami, her name starts with an L, I can't think of it, but she started an OnlyFans and she's getting like she's making like $20,000 a day or something showing feet pics. Who'd care? Toe jam, I don't want none, thank you very much. But like, who is like paying these people do you guys know what I'm talking about from Real Housewives of Miami? Who is paying all these people to see feet pics? And then what the most hilarious thing to me is like, it's not like privates, okay? It's not like you're precious or something. Oh my God. It's not like you're standing there in the mirror with your precious hanging out and you got like it, you know what I'm talking about? Like where you're like, hey, listen, you want to know what I'm talking about? Go to Nikocado Avocado, okay? His Twitter, he's constantly putting up nudes and noodles. Send me noodles. He's always putting up noodles up there and scrubbing parts of it out so you can't see his precious and all that kind of stuff. Oh my God, do you think Nikocado Avocado calls it his precious? Anyway, I don't know where. I think my friend Tanya Jean said something to me about that years ago. But anyway, so what's funny to me is it's like not like it's a boob pic, right? And she's got it like all censored, and it's not like it's a precious pic. And she's got it all censored. It's her feet that she has censored, okay? So you have to pay money to go see Trisha Paytas's feet. Who'd care, girl? Stuff those feet in some candies, okay, and call it a day. Don't nobody want to see that. And what's so crazy to me about this is that there are people literally that will pay to go see this. Because they're like, oh my God, they're censored. I have to go see the uncensored pictures of Trisha's feet. She's literally laying in a bed and she took a picture. Or Moses, I mean, we know Moses took the picture, but anyway, crazy. So, do y'all think that, that Trisha Paytas is going to respond to Ethan Klein? I don't. And Ethan, what was interesting too is that Howie Mandel was like, well, I know Trisha. She's been in this building. He was like, I knew her from America Got Talent when she would like do the speed talking thing. And then he knew her from dating Jason Nash, which this was interesting to me. Howie Mandel was like, oh yeah, I knew her because she dated that friend of David Dobrik's. And I was like, why is Howie Mandel hanging out with David Dobrik? Does David Dobrik not have any friends that are, you know, under the age of 30? I mean, or under the age of 50? Like, I don't understand all that, okay? But anyway, David Dobrik, I mean, he's getting himself into a whole world of trouble right now. So, I think his association with Trisha Paytas is the least of his problems. But I did think that Howie Mandel, it was really interesting that he was like, oh yeah, like I've met Trish several times and whatever, and she just seems real wild to me or something. He's like, but I didn't know that she was married to your brother-in-law. And I'm like, okay, how couldn't you? You know? It was funny, at one point Ethan was like, well, he was talking about like the drama of like what had happened. He was like, well, anybody online like knows what went down. And I was like, who, me? Are you talking to me right now? Not me. You couldn't be talking to me. Listen, I'm just a good old candidate over here for the HOA badge. You couldn't possibly be talking to me. Have I ever made an Ethan Klein YouTube? Never, not me. No. Anyway, although I do have to tell you that I have bought my fair share of Teddy Fresh clothes, and when they came, they didn't fit me very well, and now they do because I've lost so much weight. So I'm gonna have to start wearing some of those shirts because they are cute. Some of those shirts are real cute. I'm gonna have to wear some of those for some of my videos. But anyway, so let me know what you think. Do you think Trisha's gonna respond? I don't think Trisha's gonna respond. I don't think there is anything to respond to. Plus, I think unless Trisha has the upper hand in a response, or she thinks that she does, or she can stir the drama in such a way that it's going to bring her so much attention, that would be the only way and the only reason that she would respond, is if she thought that by turning up the dial on this drama of this very small thing that Ethan said would bring her so much attention, if she blew it up out of proportion, and attention equals views equals money, I think then she might. But I think right now, I think with everything else, I just don't think that she will. I don't think she really cares. It was interesting because at the end, Howie was kind of talking to Ela. She was like, you didn't see her on camera, but she was sitting there. And he said, you know, it makes me really sad when, like, you know, families are estranged from each other and whatever. And even Ethan kind of, you know, signed into that and was like, yeah, that's true, you know, and whatever. And I think that's the saddest thing. And I've said this from the very beginning on my videos that I've done with Ethan Klein and Trisha Paytas, is that, you know, I would say back in the day, I'd say, I wish I could get some kind of mediator or some kind of counselor that would come in so that they could have, you know, so that their kids could, like, share a relationship and stuff. And I got so many comments from people, and they'd be like, Ethan doesn't need that, Ela doesn't need that, they can just, whatever, their family, you know, and people would say, like, I have a toxic family, and hey, listen, and I've done on my Peterisms videos, so many videos about setting boundaries and limits with toxic family members, and if they are too toxic for your life, you don't have to see them anymore, you know? And I don't know. I think that everybody seems to be happy in their own right now, and maybe this is how it's supposed to be. I don't know. You know? I don't know. I mean, it's just me and my cousin Caroline. Yeah, that's only the family we have. I was telling her, I was like, a friend of mine took a trip, and they're with 42 family members, and I said, I'm going to tell everybody that I'm taking a family trip, and then you and I are just going to go somewhere. Because it is. It's just me and my cousin Caroline. Anyway, let me know what you think about all of that in the comment section below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.